The Holy Tales.
Hi kids! I am back with a new story from the Bible. And here are my little friends Gumbo, Tubby, and Freckles. They love to hear stories from the Bible as much as you do.
Yes, Holy. Let's not waste any more time. What story are you reading us today?
I was thinking of telling you the story where Jacob wrestles with God.
Whoa! What? Jacob wrestles with God?
Yes. Now, let's hear the story and find out what happens. Jacob lived with his uncle's family in Paddan Aram and soon found two wives for himself, Rachel and Leah. Both of them were daughters of Laban. Jacob worked for his father-in-law, and so, after his marriage, he continued to live with him with his wives. Soon, Jacob had children, and his family grew large. Laban's sons grew jealous of Jacob and complained to Laban for giving him more than what he deserved. They even accused Jacob of stealing from their father. Jacob noticed Laban did not like him anymore. God saw Laban's attitude too, so he asked Jacob to go to his father's land with his wives and children. Jacob and his wives were glad to do that, so he loaded everything that he owned and left for home. On his way, God's angels met Jacob and told him that his brother Esau was traveling towards him. This frightened Jacob, as years ago Esau promised to kill him. He knew Esau was still angry, so he stopped his travel and worked to prepare to send a generous gift to Esau. Overnight, Jacob had the gift ready for Esau. He sent his 2 wives and 11 sons across the river and decided to stay back alone. Suddenly, a man showed up and began wrestling with him. They fought and struggled till dawn. The man saw that daylight was coming, and he realized that Jacob couldn't be defeated. So he touched him and dislocated Jacob's hip right from the socket, and he said,
"Let me go. It's dawn."
"No,"
Jacob said.
"I won't let you go until you bless me."
"What's your name?"
The man asked.
"My name is Jacob."
He answered through his pain.
"From now, you will not be called Jacob anymore. You will be called Israel, because you have wrestled with both man and God and have won."
The man said.
"What is your name?"
Jacob asked the man. The man did not answer. Instead, he blessed Jacob. Jacob knew he had been wrestling with God. He realized he had seen God face to face and yet did not die. So he named the place Peniel, which means face of God. The sun came up and Jacob left Peniel to meet his brother. He was limping because of his hip. For that reason, to this day, the people of Israel do not eat meat from near the hip socket.
Jacob was so brave. I really like him. He is so strong.
So what's the question you're going to ask us today, Holy?
Well, today's question is, what are the names of the 2 wives of Jacob?
I know! Rachel and Leah. Yeah!
Well done, Tubby. You seem to be paying attention these days.
The Holy Tales.
Hi, I am Tubby, and these are my friends Gumbo and Freckles. Yes,
We are here to listen to a new story from the Bible, from the grand old holy.
Come, kids! I have already decided which story I'm going to tell you today.
Yay! Let's not waste any more time, Holy. Go on with the story.
All right. Joseph had no idea that his brothers were so jealous of him. He was confused as to what was happening to him. Why did his brothers sell him off? And why was he traveling to Egypt with these strange people? But little did he know that things were about to get worse for him. The moment the traders reached Egypt, they put up Joseph for sale. He went on from being the favorite son of Jacob to a lowly slave. A man named Potiphar bought him as a slave among many others and gave a good price for him as he was a young, strong, and good-looking boy. Potiphar was rich, powerful, and an important man in Egypt as he was the captain of the guards in the king's palace. Joseph was put to work in Potiphar's house. He worked very hard. He did every single job he was asked to do and did them efficiently. At times, he wondered why his own brothers did something as terrible as selling him into slavery. But he never complained. He knew God was with him. He gained strength from knowing that God was watching everything that was happening. God blessed Joseph. Potiphar noticed how hardworking, honest, and respectful Joseph was. Soon, Joseph became Potiphar's favorite and was put in charge of all the slaves who worked for him. Joseph was not only in charge of the household chores, but also played an important part in Potiphar's business deals. All the responsibilities that were given to Joseph showed how much Potiphar trusted him with his home, possession, and family. Joseph looked after the field workers and those who worked in taking care of the animals. Under Joseph's supervision, everything at Potiphar's home ran smoothly. Potiphar did not have to worry about anything. Joseph took care of everything. Everything was going well for Joseph, but little did he know that things were going to get worse for him. I hope you kids liked the story.
No doubt about it. What's the question? Tell me, and I'll tell you everything correctly.
So the question is, who bought Joseph as a slave?
Potiphar!
That's right. Now it's time for my nap. Until next time.
The Holy Tales.
Oh, Gumbo, will you please stop eating all the time? Never mind, friends. We'll call Tubby and go to Holy at once to hear another story from the Bible. Tubby, come out! Come out! Oh, yes, it's story time. Let's go to Holy. Holy, we are back to listen to a new story from the Bible.
Great! I was eagerly waiting for you kids. So, today's story is about Joseph's unusual dreams. Joseph was hated by his brothers because every time they misbehaved, Joseph would go and report everything to their father Jacob. This got them into trouble many a times. However, Joseph did not do that intentionally. He wasn't aware of their hatred towards him. One day, Joseph had an amazing dream. Instead of keeping it to himself, he went and told his brothers everything about the dream.
Brothers,
I dreamt that we were all out in a field, tying bundles of grains, and suddenly my bundle stood all tall, while all of yours circled around it and bowed. Wasn't that amazing?
The dream made them hate Joseph even more. They were not at all happy about it.
So you think one day you're going to be our king?
They ridiculed Joseph and laughed at him. The next night, Joseph had another dream, and in the dream, the sun, the moon, and the stars bowed down to him. He went and told his brothers and his father about the dream. This time, Jacob did not like the dream either.
So you think your mother and I are going to bow down to you?
Jacob asked. Even though Jacob did not appreciate the dream, he did not hate Joseph like his older brothers. Instead, he sat and wondered the real meaning of the dream. Soon after Joseph's 2 dreams, Jacob sent his sons, except Joseph, to take his flocks to a field near the town of Shechem. They were gone for quite a while, and Jacob had not heard of them. So he sent Joseph to look for his brothers. When Joseph got to Shechem, he did not know where to find his brothers, and he wandered here and there looking for them. A man noticed Joseph and thought that he was lost. He asked Joseph what he was looking for.
I'm trying to find my brothers and their flocks.
Joseph answered.
Have you seen them anywhere?
Yes,
The man answered.
I saw them taking the flocks to Dothan.
Joseph thanked the man and headed for Dothan to find his brothers. And when he went there, Joseph's life took a whole new turn.
Whoa! That was a wonderful story, Holy.
Oh, Gumbo, you really need to stop eating all the time. Anyway, the question for today is, where did the man say Jacob's sons had taken the flocks?
Dothan!
Absolutely correct, Freckles. You are a good little girl.
To watch more videos, please subscribe.
Plants and trees. On the 4th day, God created the sun to shine in the day, the moon and stars to come out at night. One day, Moses went to Mount Horeb with his sheep. There, God appeared to him as a flame of fire in a bush. Since there was no room anywhere else, they decided to spend the night in a stable. Here, Mary had her baby, Jesus. She wrapped him in a blanket and put him to sleep.
He's got the whole